Brought to you by EXO Auto Works. EXO Auto Works is Colorado Springs' home of the $40 synthetic blend oil change. Call now, 719-375-3232, or visit exoautoworks.com to make your appointment. Enharmonic Studios. Enharmonic Studios is a hybrid digital analog facility designed to be quality and affordable to anyone who wants to make history. Call today, 719-963-2020, or go to facebook.com/Enharmonic Studios. Trevor's Beard is brought to you by The Beard Struggle. The Beard Struggle is my go-to for beard hygiene and styling products, so you should click the link below and use the code TLANE15, that's TLANE15, for 15% off your order. The Toolbar, our new line of handmade soap produced in partnership with Crafts by Carolyn Lane, available on Etsy. This soap packs a punch of manly scent, like oak and fig, fresh cut lumber, cedar, and more masculine fragrances being developed all the time. With a soft touch of natural oils to cleanse and moisturize, use the link below to buy the Toolbar now. Once you try it, you'll never want to wash with anything else.
From EXO Auto Works. Streaming all over the world. It's your weekly dose of toxic masculinity. With Eric Madrid.
Because if too many people are just running around with their dicks out, it's called the Harambe variant.
And Trevor Lane.
No. To Karen.
It's Man Tools.
Oh. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Man Tools. I am Trevor Lane, and of course, tonight I am joined by Cutout Eric because Eric got stuck up in Denver with work late. So, of course, Man Tools rule number one is work comes first. So, sometimes these things can't be helped, but we shall endeavor to persevere in his absence. Uh-oh. Who's texting me? Oh, my daughter. Sorry, give me just a second. Making sure I am picking her up from school tomorrow. Sorry about that. But speaking of daughters and family and stuff, we've talked about the rat babies on previous shows, and I have to say I'm a pretty proud grandpa. I want to show you some pictures because why not? So look at these little guys. This is our older litter. And I don't know if you can see it in the picture, but their eyes are open. It was very exciting. It seemed like overnight they got their fur, and then a couple days later their eyes started opening. And then our younger litter, which I think I've mentioned, we have two litters. We have 19 baby rats. Our younger litter, they're not pinkies anymore either. They've started growing their little fuzz. So, want to give a shout out to Colorado, the rat rescue here in town. They're going to help us get these little guys and gals adopted out, which is great, because we can't keep 19 rats. We just can't. That would be 23 total. That's not happening. But they sure are cute. I never thought I'd be a rat person, but here I am bragging about my baby rats. It is what it is. So, as I've said before, if you're interested, reach out, get in touch with us. And we can, if you're in the Colorado Springs area, we can definitely help you out with adopting a baby rat. That is for sure. They'll be ready to separate from their mom in a couple of weeks. The older litter, they've got about 2 more weeks. And then this litter, I want to say, has 3 more weeks. So it's exciting. Otherwise, my week has been pretty mediocre. Not much else going on, except taking care of those things. And, you know, the typical Colorado wintertime stuff like shoveling snow. I had to do that today. Kind of sucked. But, yeah, what are you going to do? Live somewhere warm, I guess. And that's not in the cards, at least not right now. So since I don't have much to talk about as far as the week goes, we'll just jump right into the news here and take a look at what's going on in the world. So with no further ado, here we go. All right. Well, first up, I don't even know if you'd call this quite news, but I saw this ad and, well, let's just watch it. And you guys can feel free to chat on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook if you're watching us there. Or you can also call in at 719-285-9863 after I open the phone app here. That is. I'm prepared. And tell me what you think about this. So this is an ad for BetterHelp, which, if you don't know, that's a kind of like a Uber for therapy, I guess is the best way to describe it.
Thank you. I'm so happy. I love this place. It's so cute. Ooh, who's that? Jacob. Oh, Jacob from your date last night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Jacob from law school? Yes. Jacob with the cute corgi? Yes. So why are we ignoring Jacob's text?
He said he doesn't do therapy.
Oh.
What a piece of shit. Doesn't do therapy. Holy fuck. What the fuck? That's some kind of mortal sin now? To not do therapy? Okay.
Hard pass.
Hard
Red
pass.
flag.
Red flag.
Doesn't do therapy.
What the fuck? Why is that a red flag and a hard pass? I don't get. What's the deal now? If you're not mentally ill, there's something wrong with you. Like what? And of course, I'm being hyperbolic here. Not everybody that's going to therapy is necessarily mentally ill. But the flip is, not everybody needs to go to fucking therapy. I think this is a weird presumption. Just everyone needs therapy, huh? Nope, I don't think they do. And it certainly isn't a red flag that homeboy's not going to therapy. I don't know. Hard pass, red flag. He doesn't do therapy. What a piece of shit. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I don't know about that story. Maybe we'll come back to it. Yeah, I'm also not sure. Well, fuck it. We'll do both of these. I'm not sure these quite fit into news either, but I'm not sure that they fit anywhere else. This first one is 10 ways to be irresistible to women. And so we'll show the whole list here. And I guess this is in order, number 1 being the best, I presume. But I don't know. So the list here asserts that women want you to be a great leader. They want you to listen. They want you to be thoughtful. They love a man with manners. They love a guy who's family oriented. They like a man to show vulnerability. They are attracted to an informed and educated man. They want you to make them laugh. They love adventure and spontaneity. They want you to fix things. And bonus tip is that they love a stylish man. Well, let's see what they mean by some of these. Let's see. Number 1, they say be a great leader. Leadership can be defined as the ability to give guidance and direction, verbally or by modeling. Okay, yeah, I can agree with that. It's not about control. Women want to feel like they are with a leader but not a dictator, and there's definitely a difference there. In relationships, women can give us the level of trust that borders on livelihood. They must hear from you on matters such as where you want the relationship to go. Sure. And the goals that you have for it. Ways to show that you can lead. Considering the impact on the relationship instead of the individual and making a decision. Sure. I think some of this, though, depends on how serious of a relationship you're in. If you just kind of met on Tinder, that shouldn't be the basis of your decision making. If you're at the point where you're looking at possibly marriage, then sure. Keep her needs at the forefront of the relationship. Selflessness is necessary as it exhibits sacrifice. Okay. Again, I can get behind this depending on where you're at. This seems like it's after you're well established that you want to be in at least some kind of long-term relationship with this person, if not looking to marry them. Initiating and engaging in activities that will help a relationship grow, and finishing what you start. Okay. Listening. Without getting too academic, communication is simply an exchange of ideas, and I suppose listening would be showing that you want to take in their ideas. They say it's kind of a twofold process there. Need to listen more than we speak. That's the old adage, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Yeah, you shouldn't try to overtalk and become competitive in conversation, for sure. And then what you say should be substantive. Yeah. And a way to make that substantive is if it relates to the rest of the conversation, which shows that you were listening. So yeah, that's good. Being thoughtful. How can I be thoughtful? I'm bringing up selflessness again, being willing to sacrifice. Okay. Attentiveness, listening to her needs. More listening. Yeah, this is a different set of... All right. I was just making sure it wasn't part of the listening. Having compassion. Having honesty and integrity. Okay. You know, no problems with any of that. Although I do find it a little not sure about how it keeps mentioning sacrifices. Again, if you're in a long-term relationship, I can see that being a thing. If you're just kind of hanging out, I'm not sure that you need to be sacrificing anything for this person yet, you know. Women love a man with manners. So chivalry, that's a bunch of rules about horseback riding and being a knight. Just kidding. Not anymore. I guess in researching this article, the author was surprised at the number of women who are not used to a door being open for them, or don't know that they shouldn't walk outside closest to the street. Yeah, when walking with their homie, their beau. Being polite. Women are delicate and tender and should be treated as such. Okay. You know what? I want to go back up here and see who wrote this. I want to see the author's name. Does it say? It doesn't. I'm curious if this was written by a woman. I'm getting that impression. Dating etiquette. Guys, pull her chair out. Don't eat until her plate. Yeah, that's pretty basic. It manners, sure. Pay attention to her face and not her chest, butt, or legs. It's okay to glance and admire, but don't stare. Sure. Yep, I can see that. Being family oriented. Again, I think this is a little. Depends on how far into the relationship you are, but sure, if you're at that point, then yes. Showing that you would be a good father and provider to your children makes sense. Because they want to see that you want children. You will be present if you have children together, and you're not a jerk who would leave children fatherless. Sure. Yeah. Another way to show that you're family oriented is to allow her to see a interaction between you and your family. Yeah, I can see that. Showing vulnerability. Oh. It's often difficult for guys to do. We pride ourselves on being manly. So maybe this is a guy that wrote this. Having machismo, but the truth is we have feelings, sure. And they need to see and experience that you are comfortable being open with them. Allowing her to encounter your vulnerability will increase trust. All right. Yeah, there we go. Don't do this. Hopefully this will come out highlighted if I highlight it. Don't do this in the beginning stages of getting to know someone. I think a number of things that we've seen on this list, you can say that. Women are attracted to informed and educated men. Sure, keeping abreast of what's happening. Keep an eye on kind of the news and current events. But you don't have to be a political analyst or a philanthropist. Okay, I can see that. And then, well-spoken, well-read. Women want you to make them laugh. That's definitely true. Not the type of humor that's crass and insensitive. Depends on the woman, I guess. Or even the kind that jokes about everything. I don't know about everything. A great sense of humor that's well-timed. Well, timing is the key to comedy. As a failed stand-up, I know that. Adventure and spontaneity. And they enlist a couple of things. Trying new foods, going new places, picking up a new hobby. Sure. Yeah, I can see that. Women want you to fix things. Don't just think frugal or cheap. In fact, ladies hate cheap. Resourceful is a mixture of the ultimate networker and the MacGyver. Okay, the key is not that you necessarily know how to do everything, but more that you know how to get things done. Or that you know someone who knows someone. All right, I think they're a little... Okay. And then bonus tip is to be stylish with hygiene, fragrance, grooming, communication. And if you're interested in being well groomed, get you some a couple of toolbar soaps to wash yourself with and some Beard Struggle beard care products, and she will find you irresistible. I'm putting that part in myself. That is not part of the article. So yeah, for the most part, I can get behind that list. Again, if you're talking a long-term relationship, If it's someone you just started hanging out with, I'm not sure about all that. Here's another listicle. We're going to skip that. I don't want to see that. Enough listicles. I found this kind of interesting. It's about a guy canceling a date because of the date venue. So we'll check this out. It's a viral tweet that went around where a guy canceled a date because the lady suggested meeting at Starbucks. So she tweeted her text conversation, which is kind of a dick move, but she says, "Hey, it's Colleen from Hinge," and he's like, "Hi there." She says, "You said you were free Thursday." Must not be a Man Tools fan. I was wondering if you wanted to grab a cup of coffee at the Blank Hills Starbucks and maybe get to know each other a little. And he goes, "Starbucks? Yeah, I'm not sure this is going to work. You seem nice and all, but I have standards. Obviously, you don't. I'm trying to build a vision and work towards the finer things in life, and that starts with people on my same wavelength. Starbucks just fucks up the vibe." I don't know. I don't know about this. I suspect that she made this up. It's not that hard to make what appears to be a text thread and post a picture of it on Twitter. This doesn't seem like something that a real person would say. And if it was, then great. She dodged a bullet because he's clearly a fucking dick. So there are some responses to this, though. One person tweeted, "Suggesting a first date at a place like Starbucks or McDonald's just paints you in a certain fast food, low quality." I could see that about McDonald's. I don't know about Starbucks. Starbucks isn't bad. Unless I'm way behind the curve or missing something. Someone else says, "Starbucks, that's so original. No wonder you got denied." I don't see a big deal with Starbucks. It's usually intimate enough that you can have a conversation and not crazy loud like a bar. So I don't know. And then some ladies chimed in. "It's a public, well-known place for a first date where you know you'll be safe." Yeah, I can see that. The fact that he's this aggressive over the place is a huge red flag. I don't know about that, but it sounds like he's a douche. He clearly does not know first meetups are generally to suss the person out. "You think I'm going to let you take me out to an actual dinner where I have to decide if I should let you pay?" Yeah, where pay when I know damn well I'm not going to see you again. Yeah. I suspect she made the whole thing up. That's my personal opinion. I can't see anybody being so obtuse that they would have a problem with going to Starbucks for a first date. I don't think it's out of line to suggest a Starbucks. But that's just me. Let's see, what's our next thing here? Oh, yes. The big news. Now that we got the tiny stuff out of the way, for those that don't know, we're apparently on the verge of war in the Ukraine with Russia. So I wanted to go over a little bit of what's going on there. I found this somewhat useful. It's from the BBC. It's they call it a simple visual guide to the Russian attack on Ukraine. So first off, where is Ukraine? Well, there you can see it. It's borders Russia to its east. Crimea, which used to be part of Ukraine but was annexed by Russia to the south. So basically Russia is on two sides. Belarus, which is a Russia-aligned former Soviet republic, to their north. And then Poland and basically Western Europe to the west. So some things here that they're putting out. I've heard this thrown around in the press, but I'm not sure that how accurate this is. That the Russian president Vladimir Putin sees Ukraine as historically part of Russia, that's kind of bananas. It was part of the Soviet Union. I'm not sure. Well, and the term Russian comes from the Rus Vikings, which were there. You go back, really far in history. And some little facts here. It's the second largest country by area in Europe after Russia. It's also one of the poorest. They've got about 40 million people. About 8 in 10 Ukrainian citizens consider their native language to be Ukrainian, while about 20% consider it to be Russian. And where is Russia attacked? So, we got another useful little map here. So the areas highlighted in orange are regions that have already basically said that they're autonomous from Ukraine and that they align with Russia. Russia has in the past already helped them, and of course Crimea was taken in 2014. Which, by the way, let me go over something that happened in 2014. In 2014, the Western nations, basically EU and NATO, which then includes us, because basically NATO is just the EU with us, decided to back and promote and basically ensure the success of a coup in Ukraine, which ousted the very corrupt but democratically elected president at the time. They installed somebody else. There have been a number of administrations since then, but it's still the same, in essence, the same government. The one that we decided needed to be put in there. And Ukraine has been in between kind of a rock and a hard place ever since the fall of the Soviet Union. Because they border Russia, we basically assured Russia at the end of the Cold War that we would not invite them to become part of NATO, which is kind of what Putin is like upset about now. Is I guess we've been dangling that little carrot in front of them again. Come be part of NATO, and he's like, no, you can't. You told me that you wouldn't, and we're like, well, yeah, we said that, but we didn't actually sign a treaty with you on that. Which is interesting because since the Cold War ended, conceivably NATO should have stopped existing. Its purpose was to prevent a Soviet takeover of Western Europe. Well, there's no such thing as a Soviet Union. The modern state of Russia, I don't think, wants to expand its territory to include Ukraine. They'd probably be cool with absorbing the little orange areas there. Well, and possibly, because I guess those orange areas are part of larger regions. Maybe those larger regions. I don't know. But I think Putin is doing a little bit of the art of the deal here and doing what they call a big ask. So I think he's gonna show military strength and possibly take a lot more territory than what he actually wants. And then he'll negotiate backing off and to where he really wants to be and take that stuff. That's just me. I could be wrong. I don't know. There is something there's another interesting political thing. This started with him going into these Russian separatist areas and calling it a peacekeeping mission, which sounds a lot like stuff that NATO and the EU have done in the past in places like Bosnia, which was a part of Serbia. Kosovo, I was a part of that. I was one of the pairs of boots on the ground for that. Although the Russians participated in that operation, I don't know. I think that's. I think he's spinning it. If the West can peacekeep, so can he. And we do that all the time. We basically start wars to prevent wars. So, now it's a problem because he's using a page out of the West's playbook, I guess. And yeah, of course, there's some Let's see what the BBC says for why Russia is invading. Let's see. Since 2014, Russian-backed separatists and Ukraine's armed forces have been fighting a war in the eastern regions of Donetsk and Luhansk, in which more than 14,000 people have died. President Putin this month recognized the two regions, like I kind of said earlier, held by the Russian-backed separatists as independent states. Kind of like what we did with Kosovo. And then ordered Russian troops there. I don't know about tearing up a peace deal. I don't know what kind of peace deal you really had going on. So yeah, here's there's the orange areas that are already trying to separate, and the presumption is that he wants to take over those whole regions, the Luhansk region and the Donetsk region, and make them, if not part of Russia, at least Russian allied republics. Let me see if it gets into the gas, natural gas. Because I'll tell you why. Yeah. All right, I'll Google this on the fly. Here's the other reason that Ukraine is a big deal, especially with the current president. Let me see if I can find one of these that's in English. Well, so here's a big part of what's going on. So Western Europe doesn't really have its own natural gas or oil. Fucking Russia is full of natural gas. And since I want to say the 60s, Western Europe has been buying natural gas from Russia. It has to get there, and the best way to get it there is pipelines. Well, a good place to bring those pipelines through is Ukraine. Our current president, his son, was an executive for one of these energy companies that builds and maintains pipelines. Remember, we played the video that that company was Burisma was under investigation for corruption. Biden flew out there as vice president at the time and told the president of Ukraine at that time, stop this investigation, fire the prosecutor, or we won't give you any military aid. The whole quid pro quo that they said, the Trump was doing, Biden was later on video bragging about having done it. And I don't understand why anytime that video comes up, pro-Biden people are like, that's not what he was talking about. Or, so they always have some way of justifying what he was saying, how it wasn't this quid pro quo thing. Well, I think it fucking was. And this is what makes Ukraine such a could be problematic. There's also talk on the part of the EU about cutting Russia out and getting natural gas and or oil from somewhere further down south. You can't see it, which would have to go through like Crimea, or you could go, I guess, to the southwest. And obviously there's existing pipelines there for them to use for that. Russia would not be pleased about that. They kind of have deals to sell this stuff to the EU, especially Germany. I guess one of the big things that happened in recent years is Germany kind of went outside of the EU rules to do a pipeline with them. So, yeah, let's see. So, we'll get back into kind of the troop buildup. Yeah, and it's interesting. You see There's another interesting thing. I want to show the juxtaposition of let me see. Well, Snopes says this is false, but that doesn't mean it is. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the picture. I don't know if it's false or not. Snopes is claiming that it is. Let me see. Can I just get the image? Bear with me, folks. See if I can do it this way. Try to zoom it in for you. Slide it over here. So another thing that's being asserted, and I don't know how true it is. Again, as I said, Snopes says it's false, but Snopes saying it's false doesn't mean that it is. Let me bring that right next to the other map. There it is. So there are kind of hot spots of Russian troop activity, which are shown here. Right, that build up, these kind of gray bubbles. Well, when you compare that to, nope, this one. Oh, they're in almost the same places. It's almost like Putin wants to get to those biolabs. And again, I'm not saying that this is necessarily true. If it is, that it is another layer to this little onion of shit that's going on here. So, oh, not that one. The bottom line is it's a big fucking mess. I have a feeling we're going to get drawn in somehow. If for no other reason than to protect stuff that apparently the president has some kind of vested interest in. I don't know. We'll see. It's nasty. I really hope that we don't go to war with Russia. It's kind of nice having 4 years of no new wars. But, you know, hey, at least now we don't have mean tweets, right? All right, moving on. Oh, yeah. So let's get into, we'll pay a couple bills and then we'll get into some tools of the week because we've got 2 of those this week. So we'll be back in 2 and 2, as they say.
Over here, my brakes made an awful noise, and the last time I got them done, it was so expensive.
You should go to EXO AutoWorks. They did a great job on mine, and it was way cheaper than anywhere else I've been.
That sounds great. I need to get their number from you.
At EXO AutoWorks, we offer the best price on brake service in town. We include brand new brake pads, rotors, and hardware, which saves you money and gets you on the road faster. See our website for a full list of our services. Call EXO AutoWorks today.
Stop destroying your beard. Let me explain. A little while back, I thought I was properly taking care of my beard. Turns out, I was destroying it. Dry, brittle, hair falling out. My girlfriend hated it.
He was worse than a dog without the cute puppy breath.
So then, she ordered the Beard Struggle. Game changer. Natural ingredients, awesome packaging, and it smells phenomenal.
You smell sexy.
Thank you. Oils, balms, they have beard growth accelerators in addition to the new Carbon X 3-in-1 heated beard brush straightener and volumizer, along with washes and conditioners. Stop destroying your beard. Order the Beard Struggle.
I have something you can destroy.
Order online now from thebeardstruggle.com.
Use the code TLANE15 for 15% off your order.
All right, well, our first tool of the week is an actual tool, and I thought this was fucking awesome. I'm gonna have to talk to Eric about it, see what he thinks. But this is for people doing carpentry, drywall work. Check this thing out.
Ever. Tape Buddy will save you time, money, and energy on every drywall job you have. Tape Buddy is made of high-density plastic, assembles with one snap, and is easy to use. Once the insert has been snapped into place, feed the drywall tape through the mud compartment. Fill the mud compartment with drywall compound, and you're ready to tape with Tape Buddy. Just pull the tape to the desired length and cut with your drywall knife. Apply with mud facing the wall and smooth. Because the tape
isn't that awesome?
Tape has the right amount of mud. Finishing your seams is easy. Coating seams. No more mess to clean up. Just pull, cut, apply, and smooth. What could be easier? Tape Buddy cleans easily with water and cannot rust or corrode. So no matter how small or how large the project, Tape Buddy lets you tape like a pro. Easy enough for the do-it-yourselfer, ideal for the professional. Tape Buddy, your best.
Isn't that fucking cool? Now that's a tool of the week. And then we move on to this tool. Oh, Christ on a cracker. So the gentleman, I guess, in this video is definitely a tool himself, but he's not the tool of the week. The tool of the week is actually Apple, and you're about to see why.
Gay news! Siri is going gay. You need to hear the new voice of
Siri's a machine. I'm not sure how it can go gay, but let's press on.
Siri. Apple just said, we're excited to introduce a new Siri voice for English speakers, giving users more options to choose a voice that speaks to
them. If you're one person, you're not a them. You could be an it. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to start doing now. If you're a single person and insist that you're not a he or a she, I'm going to call you an it. Because that's what would be grammatically correct. Anyways.
To that, the voice you're about to hear is gender neutral, and Apple just confirmed is voiced by a queer person.
How the fuck is a voice gender neutral? Also, good for the queer person, I guess.
Hi, I'm Siri. Choose the.
That's a lady's voice. There's nothing gender neutral about that. That's clearly a woman's voice.
The voice you'd like me to use.
What the fuck? I guess good on Apple for the marketing strategy. Oh, gender neutral voice. It's a lady. Just like all the Siri voices. Right? Is there a dude Siri? I don't even know. What the fuck? That's not a thing. Gender neutral computer voice. It's just not. I don't know. I don't understand. That has to be one of the most fucking ridiculous things I've ever heard. The gender neutral, non-binary, queer Siri voice. Jesus wept. That's what I have to say. What the fuck? What the fuck, man? That's not a thing. It's a computer. It's not a person. All right, well, pressing on, let's get into the week in his story, and then we'll finish up here with our exciting show.
First on the flank, get it started, get fired at it.
right, this week in history. Scroll down. There we go. February 24th, 1991. General Stormin Norman Schwarzkopf, commander of the Coalition Army, sends in ground forces during the Gulf War, thus initiating, if I'm not mistaken, Operation Desert Storm as opposed to Desert Shield. I remember this. This was like I want to say this is the first war that was like televised 24/7, which, speaking of that, fucking CNN and those jackasses are going to love the shit in Ukraine. Just gives them more shit to make us afraid of, I guess. Yeah, anyways, I remember this kind of being the first, finally 24/7 news makes some kind of sense, I guess. Let's see. February 25th, 1836, Samuel Colt patents the first revolving cylinder multi-shot firearm, which is a beauty. It's a beauty. Of course, back then it was still black powder. As you can see with the accompanying powder. Well, it's not really a horn, I guess, but I think that's still what they called it. Interestingly, there's a maybe it's not on this one. A lot of these old revolvers had like a ramrod for the cylinders of the revolver, the chambers, so you could pack down your powder and ball. And really clever guys. There's a Clint Eastwood movie where I think he uses one of these, and to reload, he just has like pre-packed cylinders and uses them like a speed loader. So when he runs out, he just grabs another cylinder that already has powder, patch, and ball rammed in the way it's supposed to, and changes cylinders every time he has to reload. It's pretty clever. But yeah, that's the very first revolver, of course, from Samuel Colt, who was a fucking genius innovator at the time for firearms. Let's see. February 26th, 1848, Karl Marx and Frederick Engels published the Communist Manifesto. And I really wanted to find, because I've seen a number of them. I didn't do a whole lot of digging, and I probably could have eventually, but I love seeing these letters from Marx begging people for money, because he was just a piece of shit who never fucking worked a day in his life. He basically lived off of his mom until and was constantly being told what a shameful piece of shit he was for that by his brother. Then his brother died, kept getting money from mom. Mom died. He took an inheritance, even though in this document, in this book, he talks about how inheritance shouldn't be a thing. Burned through that. And then I don't know if it was Engels or someone else when he was living in London, but he basically lived in a flat that was being paid for by someone else, and would write to them, hey, the gas bill's due and I don't have any money. Obviously the rent's due, make sure you're paying that. It was like, the fuck, dude. This is basically a guide to being a dependent piece of shit. So there you go. The only thing free that communists should get are helicopter rides. February 27th, 1933, the burning down of the Reichstag in Berlin. This was used as a catalyst by the Nazis to suspend personal liberty and give the ruling, at that point, they had become the ruling party, a lot more power. Sorry. Trying to adjust here. Yeah, so, this was basically... I hate to draw parallels to Nazi Germany, because apparently that's verboten. Forgive the pun. But I definitely see some parallels between this and like January 6th. A big thing here is, I guess, there's now the presumption is actually that the Nazis started the fire. because they needed something to suspend all of those pesky rights that people had under the Weimar Republic. So this was a good way to do it. I see some parallels with what Canada did to squash the that evil trucker convoy. Put out reports of all this nasty stuff. And then the hard part now, though, is with live streaming. I mean, the trucker thing in Ottawa was pretty much live streamed 24/7, and none of the shit they say ever appeared on any of those live streams. At least that I saw. I didn't see any of that. Obviously, I didn't sit there and watch every fucking hour of live streaming, but I think it would have been made a big deal if some YouTube channel that was covering it live streaming would have caught some of that stuff. Instead, it's all bouncy castles and, you know, dance parties. So, anyways, I'm not saying history is necessarily repeating, but it sure as fuck is rhyming. Let's see, February 28th, 1994. U.S. warplanes shoot down 4 Serbian aircraft over Bosnia in the first NATO use of force in the troubled area. And kind of like I said earlier, this is us going in there. We were spinning some similar rhetoric as to what Putin is spinning now to justify him going into Ukraine. You know, there's some bad dudes doing some bad stuff. We got to stop them. Sure. As you can tell, I'm a little salty about this Ukraine stuff. And especially the prospect of us getting involved in it. I'm not a fan. Let's see, March 1st, 1912. Albert Berry completes the first in-flight parachute jump from a Benoist, I don't know what that means, plane over Kinloch Field in St. Louis, Missouri. Now, there's something interesting about this parachute jump that's different from every other parachute jump that's ever happened. The math had to be completely different to account for the size of his balls. Because what sane person would do that? This has never been tried before, and I'll die if it doesn't work. Okay, sign me up. Fucking crazy. And let's see, finally, March 2nd, 1904 marks the birth of Theodore Seuss Geisel, better known as Dr. Seuss. And of course, there he is with some figurines of some of the characters from his books that I think most children alive today grew up reading in some capacity or having read to them. Of course, the big ones, Cat in the Hat and Green Eggs and Ham. And yeah, that brings us to the end of the week in his history, which is also, the end of our show. I really need to find some something similar to the sad Incredible Hulk piano music for the ending scene. Anyways, coming soon. We're going to record it. I had hoped to do it tonight after this show, but obviously it would not work without Eric. But we're going to be working on our Mantle at the Movies featuring Bae, B-A-E, Wolf, which is a take on the Old English poem, of course, featuring female characters in the lead. So I don't know if the names, I guess Beowulf is still the same name, but it's a lady. King Hrothgar is a lady. Queen Hrothgar, I don't know. I don't know what the names are. I haven't read enough on it. I just saw kind of the headline of what it was, and I said, oh, we have to fucking do this. So that will be coming as soon as we can record it. I of course want to let everybody know that EXO AutoWorks is now offering alignments for just $80, which is a great deal. In fact, I got my car in here. Should be getting worked on tomorrow. Had some rattling. And this is why I like a place like this. Had some rattling. I thought it might be like a serpentine belt getting loose. And they took a look at it. They're like, nope, valve seals. So a little pricier than I was expecting. But I'd rather, and it's a reasonable, like, it's a much more in-depth job to get in there and replace valve seals than it is to replace a belt. So, but I appreciate that they didn't just replace my belt and go, oh, it's fine. You're good now. When that's not the problem. They found the problem. So, love the guys over here at EXO AutoWorks. So thanks to them and our other sponsors, Enharmonic Studios, Crafts by Carolyn Lane, The Beard Struggle. Thank all of you for watching and listening. Of course, please just check us out on the web at mantoolsmedia.com. You can find all of our social media at links with 2 I's. That's links.co/mantoolsmedia. And of course, like, subscribe, share, rate, and review. And you can do the rating and reviewing very easily at ratethispodcast.com/mantools. And with that, we will say good night. And we shall see you next week. Same man time, same man channel. Until then, good night, everybody.